Hello and welcome to the show. We are here today on Forza Horizon 5, playing around a little bit more on the Hot Wheels DLC. Now, there are a few interesting circuits, most definitely, and plenty of fun roads to go driving around here, but just about everything is very, very high speed. I mean, we're talking ridiculously fast, which, I mean, while fun, is, I say, not always what I want to be doing. I like a little bit of variety, and there's not really any twisty circuits at all on this. The circuit actually that starts up here that I've used to create my own sort of hill climb route is perhaps one of the twistiest circuits that you'll go to, but just about everything involves high speed, so I set about to build something that I say didn't. I mean, there's limitations to what I can do. I'm not the greatest builder, if you like, in the world. The creator has got a whole bunch of new props that you could use to create your own custom Hot Wheels tracks. I don't have the skill really to make it all flow nicely, but what I have come up with is my own little hill climb stage. Kind of a hill climb stage that is hopefully nice and technical. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to run this Diora 2-3 times through this course and set a benchmark. I'm then going to build a car and see if I can beat the time set by the actual Hot Wheels vehicle. And I don't know quite how this is all going to go, because I mean, this thing's got 700 horsepower. It's about 4,400 pounds though. It's fairly grippy. It's not too bad to drive at all. Now we do start off initially going downhill a little bit. We have a water hazard in this, which is one of the new pieces. Now I'm not sure, I think I know the line I want to take through here. Basically I want to sit on the water for as long as possible because it does accelerate you quite quickly. And then if we chuck it into this corner here, then it will grip when it leaves the water as we hit the plastic, I guess. And then we'll jump back in the water. Now I'm going to try and avoid bouncing off the walls as much as possible. We don't want to be wall riding. This is a seriously tight corner. We can get away, and running a bit wide there's not the worst thing in the world because we use the banking. Now this is all as the standard track goes, and then we deviate from it a little bit as we start getting into the fiddly sections. We've got a 90-degree left there, and now we do climb, of course, and this is where an element of power. It's going to be difficult building cars for this because you definitely need grip for quite a few of these corners, but you are climbing and there's some quite steep climbs going on in which you are going to need power. I mean, it's picturesque most definitely as we blast past a waterfall there, and here it's all acceleration, but it's not flat out corners. They're mostly quite flat corners for Hot Wheels. Then we are into the really fiddly section here. Another 90-degree left into a hairpin. Now the Diora is rear-wheel drive. It's got pretty good traction though through here. Bit of understeer from the car, almost followed by a little kick of oversteer as I try and put on the power. Where again we're climbing, it's quite steep. It's one of the steeper parts of the circuit, although we are coming up to the steepest and nastiest corner I've ever built. This is a near vertical hairpin that we have to deal with. You've really got to get the car stopped because it does not want to turn here and then try and put the power down on the exit. Well, funnily enough, you're driving at a very awkward angle and the cars do not like it all too much. It's a really cool challenge. I'm glad that I managed to fit a corner like that on this circuit. We are flat through this sort of final corner. It doesn't feel like it's flat on the way in, but it is, and it's a run to the line. And that is our first... Oh, thank you for crashing into the camera. 202.7. That is the benchmark, if you like, to try and beat. So we will go and have a restart. I mean, the first run, it was pretty clean. Can't really fault it too much. I think a lot of, if you get it right on the ridiculous hairpin, a lot of time could be made up. I think in some ways I feel like that's the most important corner on the track. We can throw it, so I mean this water section, you expect it to be ridiculous, it's actually not as bad. The water does help carry the vehicle along, and if you do end up understeering a bit wide, as soon as you hit the plastic you suddenly have a whole load of grip. We did brush the wall, that cost us a little bit of momentum there that we didn't really want to, so we will downshift a couple of times, try and get the car through there. I don't know whether it's better to be earlier on the brakes through that section, or whether we're quite good running higher up on the corner. Now, I feel like we left some time on the table in the 90-degree corners. They're very different. So used to... Whee, that's too much speed, I think. You're used to a lot of these banked corners being able to really chuck the car into them. And then when you drive on this layout that I've created, it's very, very different. You only have a couple of kind of banked corners. A lot of them are very, very flat. It means you cannot carry as much speed as you might want to be able to. And you've got these little bumps here that can upset the car if you get it wrong. I think we could have been more aggressive there. I don't think, although we're good at the hairpins, the understeer there, that's going to kill it. I don't think we've had as good. I think we've tried to be a little bit more aggressive here, and I think I've overdriven it in a couple of places. Unless we can make up a heap of time in the hairpin. Now, are we better off? I'm going to try. Oh no, that didn't work. I was wondering if we go for kind of like a later apex on that one. Didn't feel good, that's for sure. I'm really not sure what the fastest way is through that corner, because it's a corner like no other. I've never had to deal with a corner like that, and I mean, if we go too slow, it will fall off. It's pretty similar in terms of time. Oh, we did go faster by half a tenth. Well, that's some consistency right there. 202.6. All right, can we go any quicker than that? I feel like there is a little bit more speed in the car. I feel like we were a little ragged on that one. There's a couple of places we were better, a couple of places we were sort of a little worse. If we get it right, then I feel like, yeah, we can probably find a few tenths, but getting it right in 3 tries is not so easy. So, water section, and get it through the gears so you're not in the limiter. I mean, this does kind of hit its limit at about 180 miles an hour. I mean, as far as Hot Wheels goes, this is a relatively slow circuit. That was the point of this. That felt better through there, although maybe it wasn't. Who knows? We did drift up a little bit. We lost some momentum through all of that. We're in the water for a fair bit there. Right, we will again end up out high and wide through there a smidge. I've not quite got the braking. Well, I mean, we get through the corner. I don't quite got the braking right if I wanted to take a tighter line. So early on the brakes through here, and then hopefully power on through the exit. We know it's not got a huge amount of grip, so I can't really attack some of these slower corners. We're better through that 90 at least. That's tight. That corner's going to catch out some cars right there. Just wants to. You turn into it thinking you can carry speed, and it just tightens. And it is, again, another very, very tight corner. This one here, likewise. Now, we can be fairly aggressive through here. Because if we want run a bit wide, we still have time to pull the car back to the left for the hairpin. Still understeering all the way through there. I mean, there's a couple of corners here where we're doing sort of 30, 50 mile an hour, and you never do that on a normal circuit around here. Never ever do that. This is the slowest corner by far. I mean, the whole late apex thing kind of works. The front end just really doesn't want to turn. No, that's definitely not the way to do it. I felt like it worked out last time. I think, yeah, I definitely think you're better off if you do that line. Now, in theory, that line's not too bad, but the problem you get is you're turning the car up such a steep. It's better to kind of do it gradually rather than try and turn it up such a steep angle. We have gone quicker. It's remarkable consistency from the Diora 2. A 2-minute 2.289 is remarkable. Within half a second, all 3 runs. I think I could have got that under 2-minute 2. Maybe had I done that vertical hairpin perfectly, but that is the way it goes. So we have our target. 2-minute 2.289 is what we are going to try and beat. So, rules as far as building the cars go. There will be a few. Of course, they're going to be built to A-Class. The cars are going to use their standard driveline. So, this Porsche that I'm going to start with, because I've not really used it before, will remain rear-wheel drive, and they will use their standard engines unless the standard engine is incapable of getting to the top of A-Class. This allows some more wacky cars to have a chance in all of this, but I do prefer to keep the vehicles running their standard engines when I can, because otherwise everything's going to get swapped with a V8, and it'll all be very similar in the way of a build. I mean, the rest of the build, though, is going to be up to me, how I go about putting the car together. Tyres are going to be a big thing. Now, this Sport Classic doesn't give me a crazy amount of PI to play with. But the tyres it comes on should be pretty good. Do I want to go... So it comes on sport tyres, because semi-slick's the next grade up. Now, I believe this is the same compound tyre as the Diora. So do we want... Ooh. I think sport might be a happy medium. It'll give the cars good grip for the twisty bits, while hopefully still having enough power to climb the hills. What I might do, though, is just give it some bigger tyres. 325s at the rear should be good for the little hill climb section. I'm definitely not going to be running aero on the cars. I mean, aero gives the car good grip, yes, but it kills the top speed. So what is it? Stand 191. With that, it's 182, and with the rear wing, it'll probably drop it 162. So it's dropping it nearly 30 miles an hour. Just that tiny little... That's barely a wing. That's just a gurney flap on the back. It's dropping it. It's way too much on a course that, while handling is important, it's still going to need some speed. Now, I think... Oh, we can't upgrade the brakes. That's interesting. Well, we don't really have... I think race suspension is a good call. We don't really have any bumps and jumps to be dealing with here. Now, do we go for... I think we go for one-stage weight reduction. I do normally like going for a roll cage. The chassis rigidity is helpful. It doesn't add too much in this, so I think we're going to go for that. And then the rest is going to be power. We're just going to dump as much power as I can in it, but it isn't going to be a huge amount here. So the Diora was putting out 700 horsepower. We are not. We're going to be putting out around 500 by the time we're done. God damn it, 1 PI too high. That's... damn and blast and all of that. Okay. Can I get it closer to... Okay, well that's pretty good. So here we're just under 500 or so, but we are going to be 1,500 pounds lighter. Lightness is good. Lightness is important here. We'll stick a flywheel on. We will stick... Oh, I should have done gearbox. We will stick that in now. Can I do something with the gearbox? Okay, so that does final drive. We are probably going to need that. So I'm not allowed to tune the vehicles. However, there is one exception for this series. By virtue of the style of the Hot Wheels track, I am allowed to adjust the gear ratios a bit. Now, I can only do this beforehand, so I'm going to have to get it right. I'm not allowed to adjust the rest of the setup. The car will handle as the car handles, but I am allowed to adjust the gear ratio slightly because everything's dealing with a lot of high speed. So what I will probably do with this... I mean, it's got adjustable final drive. We'll extend the gears a bit. We can't extend them too much because it's not needing to do 250. We're not going to have boost pads. We're not going to have huge runs. I mean, honestly, actually, 200 is probably not too shabby. We will probably hit that down the water slide. 203. Actually, I think I need to extend them crazy amounts here. 203 will probably cover us. They'll be fast. They'll be way faster than the Diora ever got. And I'm hoping we will handle better. Now, the problem we might struggle with is torque, trying to pull it up the hills. I don't know how much torque the Diora had, actually. It's only got 371, which isn't very much. 625 on the Diora. Yeah, that could be a concern, but we shall find out. So, we are at the circuit. 02.2 is the time to try and beat. Will Sport Classic be able to do this? I genuinely don't know. I think it will. I'm feeling confident to a degree about this car. But yeah, I don't know what to expect at all here. We're into the water. Now, we saw about 180 mile an hour from the Diora. We are faster than that down. Actually, no, we're about the same down here as that. Oh, we do not turn as well as the Diora at all. That I wasn't expecting. That's something to be aware of going forward. In the water section anyway, we don't turn as well. That's a surprise to me. Maybe the race suspension was a bad call. We do turn nicely through here. Much nicer through here. So we will... Oh, that was down one too many gears. I was not where I thought I was in the gearbox. That's my bad. Can we be flat through here? Almost. That's going to be a real test of cars to see what can be flat out through that section. Because you... Oh, okay, a bit too much understeer. Got a bit carried away with thinking about the level grip. But yeah, I think some really good handling cars will be able to be flat through there. But not many. Not many. Because again, a lot of these builds are going to be with some power in mind. It can't be a full handling build here, because you will just be too slow coming up here, for example. Still got a bit too much understeer. Now the rear engine could help me. Actually, I don't know where the Dior engine is. Mid-engine, I think? But the rear engine in the Porsche and it being light could help me get some traction coming out of this horrible hairpin. Right, so I think you want to turn in early here, maybe? Oh, I don't know. It's difficult to know. I think if you turn in early, you have more traction issues. If you turn in late, you have more understeer issues. Either way, you have some sort of issue through there. No, we'll be flat through the final corner in the Sport Classic. We will. And we're heading up towards the line. I think this is actually going to be pretty close in terms of time. It's going to beat it, though. 2 minute 2.0, I think. It is. Sport Classic goes faster, slightly. But there is definitely... Well, I mean, I get 3 attempts. There's more speed in that car. There is more speed in that one. We got it a little bit wrong through the water, and I was in the wrong gear through one of the 90-degree corners. So, yeah, we might have to... We might not be able to be flat through that water section. We might not get away with it in this. Now, it might have been I turned in wrong. That is quite possible. But it also might just be we don't have enough grip. Right, up through the gears we go. We're into 6th now. So yeah, we kind of want to stay in the water for as long as possible down here for the speed. Maybe we turn a little sooner. Or yeah, I don't know. It doesn't feel as good through the water. Diora was definitely better there. However, this car is quick when it gets going. We will slow it down through here. 3rd gear will work here. We clock the wall a little bit. I mean, no big time loss. We just kind of turned up a little bit too much. Right, down to 2nd we go. That is better, much better for the Porsche. Have a little lift. Oh, yeah, definitely. That corner, I didn't expect, when I made this track, I didn't expect that corner to be such a tricky one. It was designed to be a challenge. Of course, this course is designed to be a challenge, but that corner, the line you want to take if you want to take it flat out means you go through kind of all the bumps, and that gives you no end of problems with these cars. They all just want to kick out wide. So I just don't think we've got the grip in this to take it flat. I tried a different line here, it didn't really work. We will slow this down for the hairpin. I've got that one all manners of wrong. Okay, we've overdriven it again a little bit on this run. We will have to dial it back in a couple of places. We were quicker through the water section, I think. But yeah, we've had other problems. So as we head up towards the hill, get the car stopped. Come on. Come on, Porsche, you can do it. I'm still not happy and still not sure the perfect way through that corner whatsoever. It does feel like we struggle a bit there. It feels like we struggle a little bit more perhaps in this than the Diora. Maybe the weight distribution is bad for that sort of hairpin. I don't know. We are heading up towards the line. I think we're going to be quicker though. It's a good run. That smashed it. Didn't feel like it was that good of a run. Just 2 minute 0.4. We may be able to break the 2 minute mark with this car. I think it's possible. So the lack of torque is not really giving it a problem here. It's we will go for one more. Can we break that 2 minute mark with the 911 Sport Classic? I mean, it's definitely doable. If I get the hairpin, the hairpin before the hill right, we can probably make that time up. The steep hairpin, I'm not sure I can do much more with it there. So we will chuck it onto the water section, through the gears, don't buzz the limiter, make the most of the water's acceleration. So we get about 185. Oh, I've got that a little bit wrong. I've had to have a lift. Car's moving about a smidge for me. Not ideal, but we'll get back in the water when I've got it under control again. We'll fly our way down here. That's okay. Drop it down a couple of gears. Oh, it's a little too late. Under braking there. Trying to make up some time. That wasn't quite what we needed. Still not quite what we needed here. It's been slightly scruffy this run. But I will keep pushing. We will keep trying. We'll leave a little later to turn in. Try not to slide the car. That's better. Much better through there. I love that. I already love that corner because it's my favourite type of corner that's on the edge of being flat out. And yeah, it's just so rewarding when you get it right, when you get it close to being flat out. As I said, it'll be rewarding when you get a car that is fast enough to take that flat out. We will now try and get this hairpin correct. You've got to really slow it down here. I think is what I've been doing. I've been going way too fast into this. That is more like it. Don't brush the wall because we've got lovely momentum on the exit. Okay, well it was a bit of a scruffy start to the run. It has got better as we've got further into it. What can we do on the hill here? Oh, you've got to be so... It feels like it takes an age to get on the throttle there, because I can't just... If you jump on the throttle, it's just going to spin the wheels. I feel like that was not a bad line, though, through there. I mean, you can brake super late, of course, into that corner, because gravity's doing a lot of the work. We will be flat through the final turn. It will be the run to the line. It's going to be good. It's going to be really good for the Porsche. We do break the 2-minute mark, 1:59.1. Very, very good second half of the lap. Not such a great first half. But I feel like the first half we made some little errors and lost a bit of time. And then the second half we ran very, very well. That's made up the bigger chunks of time, which is good. And I mean, there we go. That is a look at my little Hot Wheels hill climb stage. I really quite like it. I'm really pleased with how it's turned out. It's some good challenge, and a different kind of challenge to a lot of the normal Hot Wheels circuits. Now I shall of course put the share code in the description of this video if you want to have a go with it yourself and try and mess around. This will probably make some appearances in streams at some point in the future. I feel like it's kind of a buildy series works a little bit better as a stream, so at some point we will likely be seeing some of that going on, building various cars and seeing what can beat this Porsche, what can beat the Zora 2, and probably driving some silly vehicles down there as well. But that is going to be it for this video. It's going to be it from me. Thank you all very much for watching, and until next time, a goodbye.